The sound of a push notification used to be exciting. A text from a friend, a like on a photo, a new email. Now it's a tiny digital chime that makes my stomach drop and my skin go cold. It's the sound of him. It's the sound of the last 3 years of my life. I haven't heard from him in 6 months, not since the trial. But the fear is a phantom limb. I still feel it, every single day. He's in prison, but he's also right here sitting in my apartment watching me. It all started so innocently. It all started in a place I thought was safe. My name is Sarah, and 3 years ago I was 24. I just moved to Portland, Oregon, for a junior graphic design job. It was my first real job, my first real apartment, my first time living in a city where I knew absolutely no one. The first few months were a blur of work, IKEA furniture, and quiet, lonely weekends. I was desperate for a connection, for a community. I'm a huge fan of indie music, the more obscure the better. I found a forum, a message board for fans of a specific small label. Felt like a secret club. People were kind, they were passionate, and they were, I thought, like me. It was my digital safe haven. His username was AlexandPDX. Simple. PDX for Portland. I saw him posting in a thread about my favorite band, a group called the Winter Docs. His takes were smart, insightful. He seemed to get the music on the same level I did. I replied to one of his posts, and a few hours later I had a private message. "Hey," it said. "Saw your post. You're the only other person I've found who appreciates the B-side from their first EP. You must have great taste." It was the first non-work, non-family message I'd gotten in weeks. I smiled. I wrote back. For the next 2 weeks we talked every day. It was easy. It was fun. He was witty, sarcastic, and incredibly supportive. I'd complain about my creative director, and he'd send back a perfectly chosen meme. I'd mention I was feeling lonely, and he'd tell me about his own move to Portland 2 years prior, how hard it was. He made me feel seen. He told me he was a software developer, worked from home mostly. He sent me a photo. He was, in a word, normal. Brown hair, kind eyes, a slightly crooked smile. He looked like the kind of guy you'd meet at a coffee shop. He looked safe. We talked about our favorite hiking trails around the city, the best food carts, the neighborhoods we loved. I told him I just moved into the Hawthorne district. He said he lived over in Nob Hill, on the other side of town. Felt good knowing he was close but not too close. The first coincidence happened about a month in. I was exploring my new neighborhood and posted a picture on my private Instagram account of a latte from a small, quirky cafe. My account was locked. I only had about 80 followers, mostly college friends and family. An hour later, a message from Alex. "No way. Is that the Daily Grind? I love that place. Their lavender latte is the best." I was surprised. "Yeah, that's the one. How did you know?" He replied, "I'm just a coffee expert, I guess. I was just there this morning. Must have just missed you." It didn't feel like a red flag. Felt exciting. Kismet. The city suddenly felt smaller, friendlier. We joked that we were like ships passing in the night. The messages became more frequent. He was the first person I heard from in the morning. "Good morning, Sarah. Hope your commute isn't bad." He'd message me around lunchtime. "What's the verdict? That boring salad again." And he'd be there at night. "You home from work? How was the meeting with the vampire client?" I'd laughed when I called my client that in a message, and he'd picked up on it. It felt like I had a partner, a companion in my pocket. But then the texture of the messages began to change. It was subtle. I mentioned I was going to a happy hour with some people from work. A few new colleagues, one of whom was a guy named Mark from the IT department. I posted a group selfie on my Instagram story. Just a picture of us all at a bar, smiling, holding drinks. Within 10 minutes, a message from Alex. "Looks fun. Who's the guy with his arm around your chair?" I froze. His arm wasn't around my chair, it was resting on the back of it. "That's just Mark from my office," I replied. "Why?" His response came back instantly. "No reason. He just looks like a total bro. You're too good for that scene." It was the first time I felt a prickle of something. Annoyance. "It's just a work thing, Alex. It's not a scene." He backed off immediately. You're right. Sorry. Just being protective. You're new in town, you know." I let it go. He was just being nice. A week later, I asked him to meet up. We've been talking for almost 2 months, I typed. And we live in the same city. We should actually grab that coffee we keep talking about. His reply was instant but evasive. I would absolutely love that. This week is just insane. I have a huge project deadline. Rain check. Next week for sure. Next week came and it was a family emergency. His sister was sick. The week after that, his car broke down. After a month of excuses, I started to feel foolish. Are you avoiding me? I asked, trying to keep it light. What? No, of course not. I'm a little shy in person. I'm better online. I don't want to disappoint you. It was vulnerable and it worked. I felt bad for pushing. You could never disappoint me, I wrote. Whenever you're ready. The first real terrifying breach happened on a Tuesday. I was home watching TV. I'd been complaining to Alex in our chat that I was stressed from work and had a headache. Ugh, my head is pounding. I wish I had some of that sleepy time tea my mom always buys. It was a throwaway comment. An hour later, my apartment buzzer rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. I buzzed them in, assuming it was a delivery for a neighbor. A minute later, there was a knock on my door. I looked through the peephole. No one. I waited, my heart suddenly hammering. I opened the door just a crack. On my doormat was a small brown paper bag. I looked down the hallway. It was empty. I snatched the bag inside and locked the deadbolt. My hands were shaking. Inside was a box of tea, the exact brand my mom buys. Sleepy Time Extra. Taped to it was a small white note with a single letter printed in black ink. A. I ran to my computer. How did you do that? How did you get my address? I typed, my fingers flying. The reply came back. What are you talking about? The tea, Alex. You sent tea to my apartment. How do you know where I live? There was a long pause. I could see the bubble appearing and disappearing. Finally, he wrote back. You must have told me, silly. I have a terrible memory, but you must have mentioned your building or something. I just wanted to do something nice. You said you had a headache. I scrolled back through our entire chat history. Weeks and weeks of messages. I had never mentioned my address. I had said the Hawthorne district, but that was an entire neighborhood with thousands of people. I never gave him my building, my street, my apartment number. No, I wrote. I never told you. You're scaring me. Sarah, come on. Don't be like that. It was a nice gesture. I probably just Googled your name and Hawthorne or something. It's not a big deal. Why are you freaking out? But I was freaking out. It was a big deal. He wasn't just Alex MVDX anymore. He was someone who knew where I lived. Someone who could get into my building. He had been at my door. I told him I needed space. I told him he had crossed a line. His messages turned desperate. I'm sorry. I just like you so much. I didn't mean to scare you. Please talk to me. I didn't reply. The messages kept coming one after another, a rapid-fire assault on my phone. Sarah, please, don't ignore me. I said I was sorry. Sarah, I did the only thing I could think of. I blocked him. I blocked Alex MVDX on the forum. I felt a wave of adrenaline, a mix of terror and relief. I double-checked the lock on my door. I wedged a chair under the handle. I didn't sleep that night. I kept thinking I heard noises in the hallway. The next morning, I woke up, exhausted, to 5 new follow requests on my private Instagram. Their usernames were Alex_likes_music, PDX_watcher, Sarah's_friend, The Winter Docs Fan, and You Can't Block Me. The bios were all inside jokes from our chats. One of them just said, You shouldn't have done that, Sarah. I felt sick. I denied all of them. I made my account private on top of private, if that was even a thing. I checked my settings. How did he even find my Instagram? I used a different username. My stomach clenched as I realized. My work portfolio was linked in my forum bio, and my portfolio website had a link to my professional Instagram. He must have clicked through. He had been planning this. This wasn't a coincidence. This was research. Then the emails started. He'd found my work email. My work email. The first one was simple. Did you really think blocking me would work? You can't get rid of me, Sarah. You're mine. I stared at the screen sitting at my office desk surrounded by my colleagues. I felt like I was in a glass box screaming and no one could hear me. I couldn't breathe. I replied, "Leave me alone. I will go to the police." His response was immediate. "Go ahead. What will you tell them? A guy you met online sent you a box of tea and an email? They'll laugh at you. We're just having a fight, Sarah. Just unblock me and we can talk this out." I didn't reply. I blocked his email address. A new one appeared an hour later, from a slightly different Gmail account. Stubborn, aren't we? That's okay. I like a challenge. I blocked that one too. This went on for a week. Every time I blocked an account, a new one would pop up. The messages got more detailed. He was watching me. He was proving it. I'd go to the grocery store after work. My phone would ping. A new email. "That blue dress looks great on you, but you forgot to buy milk." I dropped my basket in the middle of the aisle. My heart felt like it was going to explode. I scanned the faces around me. The old man by the fruit, the mother with her kids, the teenager stocking shelves. Anyone could be him. I abandoned my cart and ran to my car, locking the doors the second I got in. I sat there hyperventilating. This was when I went to the police. The first time, I walked into the local precinct shaking. I sat with an officer who looked bored. I showed him the emails, the Instagram requests. I told him about the tea. He sighed. "Ma'am," he said, and the ma'am felt so dismissive. "Has he threatened you? Has he said, 'I am going to harm you'?" I stammered. "Well, no, but he said I'm his, and he's watching me. He showed up at my house." The officer shook his head. "He sent a delivery to your house. He hasn't broken any laws. He's just an internet weirdo. It's cyberbullying maybe, but it's not a crime. He told me to just stay offline. Delete your accounts. Get a new email. He'll get bored and move on." I left that precinct feeling more alone than I had ever felt in my life. The one system that was supposed to protect me had told me I was on my own. I felt stupid, like I was overreacting. Maybe I was just being dramatic. Maybe he was just a weirdo. I drove home, my mind racing. I was going to follow the officer's advice. I would delete everything. I would become a digital ghost. That night, I was about to start deactivating my accounts when my buzzer rang again. I froze. I ignored it. It rang again, and again, and again. A persistent, angry buzzing. Then a knock at my door. A loud, hard knock. I crept to the peephole. I saw the back of a food delivery driver walking away. Another package. This time, I didn't open the door for 10 minutes. When I finally did, a large pizza box was on my mat. It was from a place down the street. I opened it. It was a pepperoni pizza. My favorite. Taped to the inside of the lid was another note. "I know you didn't eat lunch today, and you didn't buy milk at the store, so you probably don't have food at home. Eat up. You look like you're losing weight." He knew I didn't eat lunch. He knew I didn't buy milk. He was at the grocery store. He was watching my apartment now. The officer's words echoed in my head. He'll get bored and move on. This man was not bored. He was escalating. This was the beginning of year 2. My life shrank. I deleted my Instagram, my Facebook, my forum account. I got a new personal email. It didn't matter. He still had my work email. I couldn't just quit my job. I told my boss I had a stalker situation, and they were sympathetic, but all they could do was change my public-facing email to a generic info at address. The IT guy, Mark, the one from the bar, was really helpful. He set up filters, but Alex was smart. He'd create new, random email addresses every time, so the filters were useless. He knew I was blocking him, and it became a game. The messages were no longer about the music. They were about me. He would send me screenshots of my own social media, from accounts I had deleted. He'd hacked them. He'd saved everything. Pictures of my college graduation. Photos of my family. He'd send me a picture of my mom, her face circled in red. She looks sweet. I'd hate for anything to happen to her. Does she live in my hometown? I threw up. He had my past. He had my present. I became a ghost. I stopped going out. I had my groceries delivered. I'd sit in my apartment with the blinds drawn. Every car door that slammed, every footstep in the hall, I was sure it was him. I lost weight. I stopped talking to my friends from back home because I didn't know how to explain why I was so broken. How do you tell people you're being hunted by a man you've never even met? They'd try to be helpful. Just block him, they'd say. Just call the cops. As if it were that easy. I felt like I was losing my mind. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, sure someone was in my room. I'd search my own apartment, closet by closet, with a kitchen knife in my hand. The paranoia was all-consuming, and he fed it. He wanted me to know he was smarter than me. He wanted me to know I was trapped. The worst part was the gaslighting. He'd send a barrage of terrifying, obsessive messages, and then a day later an email would come through. Sarah, what is wrong with you? Why are you ignoring me? I thought we were friends. I'm worried about you. You're acting crazy. He was positioning me as the unstable one. And sometimes in the dark at 3 a.m. I'd almost believe him. Maybe I was the crazy one. Maybe I had invited this. Maybe I had been too lonely, too open, too me. Then he sent the dossier. I opened my work email on a Monday morning. The subject line was, "Everything I know." Clicked it. It was a document. A long scrolling document. It was my life. My full name. My date of birth. My social security number, with the last 4 digits correct. My mother's maiden name. My high school. My college. My dorm room number from freshman year. My grades. My first car, a 1998 Toyota Camry, and the license plate number. My parents' home address. My sister's work address. It went on and on. Bank account details. Student loan information. He hadn't just found my Instagram. He had hacked everything. My old email. My bank. My student loan portal. He had been inside my entire digital life for months, maybe years, collecting data, building a file on me. He was a software developer, he'd said. It wasn't just a job title. It was a weapon. The email ended with a simple sentence. I know everything about you, Sarah. I know where you were born. I know where your parents sleep. I know where you sleep. You can't run from me. So stop trying. Just talk to me. This was a threat. A real, undeniable, bone-chilling threat. He wasn't just a weirdo. He was a dedicated, intelligent, and dangerous criminal. He had threatened my family. I thought the police would have to take seriously. I printed out the entire document, my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the paper. I went back to the same precinct. The officer from before wasn't there. I got a new one, a man who looked equally tired. I laid the papers on his desk. This man. He has my social security number. He has my family's address. He's threatening them. The officer read through it. He frowned. This is bad, he said. This is identity theft. You need to call the credit bureaus, freeze your credit. No, I almost shouted. It's not just identity theft. He's stalking me. He's threatening my family. The officer looked at me. He hasn't explicitly threatened your family, ma'am. He's just stating that he knows where they live. It's menacing, but it's not a direct, credible threat of violence. And the computer stuff. It's all anonymous. These Gmail addresses, they're untraceable. They're probably coming from a cafe in Russia for all we know. He gave me a pamphlet on identity theft and another on staying safe online. He told me to file a report, which I did, but I knew it was going into a black hole. If he shows up, he said, or if he sends you a message saying I am going to kill you, then we can do something. I walked out of that police station and I didn't just feel alone. I felt hunted. The system had failed me twice. Alex was right. They had laughed at me. He had all the power. He had proven he could find me anywhere, that he was untouchable. He had broken me. I went home and I packed. I couldn't stay. I called my boss, my voice a broken whisper, and I quit. I told her it was a family emergency. I called my landlord and told him I was breaking my lease, that he could keep the deposit. I didn't care. I packed 2 suitcases, leaving my new furniture, my plants, my entire Portland life behind. I called my parents, sobbing, and told them I was coming home. I didn't tell them why. I couldn't. How could I tell them that I had put them in danger? I drove my car to a dealership, sold it for half of what it was worth, and took a bus to the airport. I bought a one-way ticket to my parents' city in the Midwest, paying in cash. I turned off my phone and I didn't turn it back on. For 2 days I sat in my childhood bedroom staring at the walls. I was 26 years old and my life was over. I had no job, no car, no apartment. I was in hiding. This was the beginning of year 3. The first few months were silent. I had no phone. I had no email. I had no social media. I was a ghost. I told my parents I'd had a breakdown, that the job was too much. They worried, but they believed me. The silence was deafening. Every day I expected something. A letter. A call to my parents' house. But nothing came. After 3 months, I started to breathe a little. Maybe he had gotten bored. Maybe my disappearing act had finally worked. I had cut off his supply. He had no one to watch, no one to terrorize. After 6 months of silence, I started to believe I was free. I started to rebuild. I couldn't stay in my parents' house forever. A college friend of mine lived in Chicago. She said she was looking for a roommate. Felt right. A big city, but not Portland. Anonymous. I could start over. I got a new phone, a new number. I created a new email with a fake name. I started going by my middle name, Jessica. Sarah was gone. I found a new job at a small marketing firm. My new boss, my new roommate, my new colleagues. They all knew me as Jessica. I never posted a single picture online. I never told anyone where I was from. I was a blank slate. I was Jessica for almost 8 months. 8 wonderful, normal months. I was starting to feel like myself again. I was starting to laugh. I was starting to sleep through the night. I'd even gone on a few dates. I thought the nightmare was finally truly over. It was a Wednesday. I was at my new job in Chicago. I'd been there for half a year. I was good at it. I was in a meeting when the receptionist buzzed my desk. Jessica, there's a package for you at the front desk. I was confused. I hadn't ordered anything. I went out to the lobby. It was a small square box wrapped in plain brown paper. There was no return address. The shipping label was printed. The name on it made my blood turn to ice. It said, Sarah Jessica. My last name. I took the box to my desk, my hands trembling so violently I could barely hold it. I waited until my office mate went to lunch. I tore it open. Inside, nestled in white tissue paper, was a small wooden music box. A wind-up music box. I knew even before I turned the key what it would play. I wound it up. The tinny, heartbreaking melody of The Anchor, the B-side from that first Winter Docs EP, filled my quiet office. The song we had bonded over. The song that started it all. Taped to the bottom of the box was one last note. Did you really think you could hide? I'm patient. I'll always find you, Sarah. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just shut down. He'd found me. After all this time, after all my precautions, he'd found me. He knew my new name. He knew my new job. He knew my new address. The 6 months of silence hadn't been him giving up. It had been him looking. He was patient. He was thorough. And he was, I finally realized, inescapable. He would never stop. Unless I made him. But this time something was different. I wasn't the scared 24-year-old girl in Portland anymore. I was 27. I was angry. He had taken 3 years of my life. He had taken my name. He had taken my sense of safety. He was not going to take any more. I didn't quit. I didn't run. I took the music box, the note, the shipping label, and I put them in my bag. I printed out the dossier email, which I had saved on a USB drive. I printed out the old emails. I was going back to the police. But not in Portland. Here. In Chicago. I walked into the 18th District Precinct. I was calm. I asked to speak to someone in the Cybercrimes or Stalking Division. I was directed to a detective, a woman about my age. Her name was Detective Kowski. I sat down and I laid everything out. The music box, the note, the shipping label, the 3-year history. I told her everything from the first hello on the forum to the package that had arrived an hour ago. I told her about the police in Portland, how they dismissed me. She didn't interrupt me. She just listened, her face growing harder with every detail. When I finished, she looked at the music box, then at the shipping label. He's good, she said, her voice quiet. But he's also an arrogant son of a bitch. And arrogant men make mistakes. She pointed to the label. This is a prepaid printed label, but it has a tracking number. It was scanned into the system. He's smart enough to not use his home address, but he had to drop this at a post office or a shipping store. He's not a ghost. He's a physical person. He had to physically mail this box. For the first time in 3 years, I felt a flicker of something that wasn't terror. It was hope. Detective Kowski and her team got a warrant for the tracking information. The package had been mailed from a small family-owned shipping store in Portland. My heart sank. "He's still there," I whispered. "No," she said. "He mailed it from there." Or, he had someone mail it for him, but the name on the shipping account was a fake. A John Smith. It was another dead end. "Okay," Kowski said, undeterred. "He's a tech guy. He hacked your life. But how did he find Jessica in Chicago?" We retraced my steps. "My new phone, my new email, my new job." "How did you apply for this job?" she asked. "I sent my resume from my new email." "And your resume," she said. "Did it have your old job in Portland on it?" "Yes," I said. "I had to. It was my only experience." "He didn't hack you," Kowski said, her eyes lighting up. "Not this time. He hacked them. He hacked your old company." She was right. He must have set up a backdoor into my old company's server long ago. He was probably monitoring their HR department waiting for a reference check. When my new job in Chicago called my old boss for a reference for Jessica, he must have seen it. He'd been lying in wait. The Chicago PD contacted my old boss. The company was horrified. They ran a deep scan of their servers, and there it was. A breach. An active, hidden monitoring program, siphoning emails from the HR and admin departments. It was sophisticated, but it had an IP address. And this time, the IP address wasn't routed through Russia. It was local. It was coming from a residential address in Portland. He'd gotten sloppy. He'd gotten arrogant. He thought I'd just run again. They had him. The Portland PD, now working with the Chicago PD, got a warrant. They raided the address. It was a 40-year-old man. His name wasn't Alex. His name was Michael. He lived in his parents' basement. He was, as Alex had claimed, a software developer. He was also, the police found, a collector. His basement was a shrine, not just to me but to at least 3 other women. He had hard drives full of photos. Our photos. He had files just like the one he sent me. Our social security numbers, our family trees, our high school transcripts. He had a box of trophies. A menu from a restaurant one woman had posted about. A concert ticket from another. And in a box with my name on it was a photo of me walking into my old apartment building in Portland. A photo I had never seen. He hadn't just been at the grocery store. He'd been outside my home. He'd been there. And the photo he'd sent me? The one of the kind, normal guy? It was a stock photo. A random face he'd pulled from the internet. I had never even seen my stalker's real face. He confessed to everything. The forums, the hacking, the gifts. The dossier was his favorite move. He liked showing them how smart he was. He liked the game. He liked watching them panic. He liked watching them run. He had no motive beyond that. It wasn't about love. It wasn't about a relationship. It was about power. It was about control. It was, as he called it, a hobby. He was charged with multiple counts of aggravated stalking, identity theft, and cyberstalking for all 4 women. My testimony, the music box, the 3 years of hell. It was enough. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison. He's been in prison for 6 months. My name is Sarah. I've taken my name back. I still live in Chicago. I still work at the same job. I'm not Jessica anymore. But I'm not the Sarah who moved to Portland either. That girl is gone. He took her. I'm someone new. Someone harder and sadder, but also stronger. I'm rebuilding. But the fear is a quiet hum under everything. I still check my locks 3 times before I go to bed. I still have tape over my laptop camera. I will never ever have a public social media account again. He's locked away, but the world he showed me, a world where a simple hello can lead to a 3-year nightmare, that world is still out there. I was a ghost for a year hiding from him. Now I'm a digital ghost on purpose. He taught me that the most dangerous monsters aren't the ones who jump out of the shadows. They're the ones who slide into your DMs, who use your own loneliness against you, and who, piece by piece, steal your life from the inside out. all from the glow of a computer screen.